Oh, yeah.
All right, we are live. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Skye. I'm a fantasy author who typically writes paranormal romance by the name SD Hegyes. And because the one time I did not check, things went wrong. While Steph introduced herself, I'm going to go check and make sure everything's working copacetically the way it's supposed to be. So take it away, Stephanie.
Uh, Hi, new here. My name is Stephanie. I am writing a small town romance series. I am slowly working through my next one. It will not be done by the end of this 7-day book challenge, but that's okay. Progress is progress. The end. And that is, she's giving a reenactment of my melodramatic daughter. I'm dying.
I'm a small Victorian child. I'm dying, mother. Please save me. We were chopping around different topics before we went live. It's all good, guys. It's all good. Okay. Anyways, I am waiting for stuff to download because I told her I would find her some stuff from the 1 year I tried homeschooling, and I bought a whole bunch of stuff that never ended up using because homeschooling ended up being a complete and utter fail for us. We learned a lot here, and we're not going to talk about it. That's all.
COVID, homeschooling because of COVID is not homeschooling.
No, I tried homeschooling for another full year after everyone went back to school. I was like, you know what? They're already out of school. Let's try it. Let's see what happens. It was not for us at the time. If I knew then what I know now, I think it would have been a completely different story.
Yeah.
But that was not the case.
Have revenge on.
This is what we're doing.
It happens.
So. All right, so for those who don't know, the 7-day book challenge is a 7-day challenge where we try to complete a story from start to finish in 7 days. Technically, I won this challenge on day 1 because I was working on a short story for a submission, anthology submission, and I completed that. And ever since then, I've been working on one of the short stories in a short story series I'm working on. I'm working on the second story. In fact, actually, this morning when we were driving to go grocery shopping, I had a fireside chat basically with my family, asking them. I was telling them, I gave them lots of spoilers. I was like, okay, so this is what's going on. This is what's happening in the story. Here's the things I think could happen moving forward. I just need help to finalize this and be like, okay, is this something that would work? And so we were all like brainstorming ideas together. And I was like, these are the moments I love. I love these moments when I can just sit down with my family and spit out ideas and have them spit out ideas back. And I'm like, they don't happen often these days, but when they do, it's gold.
See, when I ask my children stuff, I'm like, what do you have this? They're like, I don't know, Mom, it's your story. You're writing it, not us.
I love that. Even Justin jumped in. He was like, okay, so what's your main character? And I was like, he's a vampire. And he was like, okay, so we're going to different ancient texts. And then he went into a bunch of different details of what could happen based on ancient history of vampires. And I was like, see, this is why I keep you around. I love you. And this is why I keep you around. Because, again, we don't do it that often. But when it does happen, it's a little magical, and I love it. So, it's been my day. I'm gonna have to put the brainstorming into action now. So, I don't know why I pulled out my journal because we're not working on that today. It's because we mentioned journal stuff, and so automatically my brain was like, grab that, work on it. And I was like, no, we're not.
Also, like, I finished my chapter I was working on, so I went to the next chapter in my scripture file, which is chapter 3. But chapter 3 says, what kind of obstacle could keep these two people apart? We should work on this. That is it.
I love your notes. It's fantastic.
Chapter 4 is like something else. So I'm like, crap. So I'm like, you know, whatever. My next chapter is going to be this chapter on this index card thing. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Whatever. I don't know what I was thinking. I don't know how that would be helpful to me later
on. Probably it's not, but you know what? You'll make it work. You will make it work. All right. That being said, I'm gonna go say hi to everyone in the comments because I know there's a couple people there, and then we will get started on our first sprint. And I will, try to knock out some of this lore. So here we go. Renee is here. Hello. Welcome. Dark Project's here also as well. Hello. She says, my kids loved homeschooling pre-Panini. I think that's one of my favorite things that have come up during the pandemic is that everyone changes the names just not to get canceled. And all the weirdness that came out as far as like, how can we avoid calling it what's actually called and everyone still understand it was just hilarious. And I love it. So like, I love pre-panini. That is great. But my ex-husband gets to make all of those decisions for our entire family. Oh, that sucks. So they're in public school. Just like, yeah, I feel that. Like, I was the one that was doing the teaching when we were doing homeschooling. And there was a couple things I discovered. One of the things I discovered is that if I do not have a set curriculum, like I admire Steph for what she does with the kids in homeschooling now, because, and that's why I said, if I had the knowledge then that I do now, it would have been so much easier and so much better. But I didn't. And at the time, you and I were starting to talk, but we were not, because this was back in 2021.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, you and I were just starting to talk. We weren't, I don't even think I knew that you were actually homeschooling. You probably mentioned it a couple times already. It's just that it didn't click.
In the beginning, I try to keep it separate. So, but now everyone knows and I don't care. Like, there was no reason. I just was trying to keep separate stuff on two different places.
Yeah. So, like I said, you probably had mentioned it and it just didn't click. And now I know like 5 or 6 different people who also do homeschooling. So between everyone that I know that does homeschooling, I'm like, if I had this kind of knowledge back then, the girls probably wouldn't be in public school right now.
Do you mean like being able to use different sources for different things versus
and just
doing
being
it all
able
for
to ask,
one thing?
Yeah, and just being able to ask, hey, is this a good source to use for homeschooling? Nothing else, because that was my problem. I found what was advertised to me as like the best thing ever, and I'm not saying it wasn't, but we are a very non-religious family, and this was very, very
was it beautiful? No,
Good and the Beautiful. Yeah,
Good and the Beautiful. I tried that one, and we lasted like 3 days, and like I didn't like it. We've tried a lot of things over the last 12 years, I guess. Crap, 12 years.
I feel that.
A lot of different things. So
yeah, so I'm like, and now and talking to some of the other people who homeschool, they're like, oh, you went with that one. I was like, yeah, and they were like, I'm so sorry. And I'm like, oh god,
but it was free. Like the first several levels were free to use. So
it wasn't for me. It was what the before was.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they were like, pay us money right up front. And they were like, we want it now, bitch. And I was like, okay, you're the best. Here you go.
Yeah. A lot of people thought maybe they were doing it differently because they're a Canadian family. The mom that made up the Good and the Beautiful curriculum is based in Canada.
Got it. Okay.
There's nothing wrong with Canada. I'm just saying that's where they were based in, so don't come after me, anybody.
Cancel instantly.
I don't care.
Okay, Dark says, I watched 2 amazing movies after work today, and my brain is processing them. I want to know what these movies were.
Yes, please share.
DeHubs and I are gonna. He works tomorrow morning, and we were supposed to go see How to Train Your Dragon live action last Sunday, but he got off work too close to the movie time, and he just was like, I don't wanna. And I was like, I don't want to either if you don't wanna. So we're not gonna. So we're gonna attempt to go watch it tomorrow. Our small town home theater only shows new movies 2 weeks in a row, and so this is week 2. And if we don't see it tomorrow, we have to wait for it to come out on DVD. So, but now I want to know what movies you watched. Laura is sneaking in real quick. I'm on screen on Sam's stream. Say that 5 times fast. So thank you for sneaking in. Good luck on your stream. The other thing that's going on this weekend is the Storyteller's Hearth relay. So if we have less people because they are popping up over there on those streams, I am okay with that. I understand. More power to you.
I had next to no one today. It was hilarious. I was like an excellent, like talking to myself for like the first 20 minutes.
I popped in and out of your stream because we were doing various things while in town shopping.
Yes, that's true.
I think we went live right when we sat down to eat lunch, so I was able just to sit and chill there for a little bit. Shannon is here. Hello, welcome. We're going to start writing for us very short. We're going to start writing very shortly. Dark says K-pop Dream Hunters was amazing. I also watched Freaks. Okay, Freaks I haven't heard of. The girls and I were talking about watching K-pop Demon Hunters. Like, we're going to watch it at some point tomorrow. We were going to, if we'd gotten home earlier today, and I had gotten in my nap earlier, we were going to watch it today, possibly. I was like, the chances of this happening are next to zero, by the way. But if they do happen, if the stars align, we might be able to watch it today. So instead, we're going to watch it tomorrow. I can hear your stuff. It's really loud.
I died next to the flower.
Justin, I can hear your stuff. It's really loud.
What's he
And I'm
doing?
live. I don't know exactly what you're watching, but if I get a notification from YouTube, I'm blaming you. I love you too. So I'll have to find out Freaks and check that out. But we are definitely going to be watching K-pop Demon Hunter. I'm trying to convince the Hubs to watch it with us, but I don't think he's going to. He's not an animation fan. He's not a K-pop fan. He's just not having it. I'm like, please watch the drama with us. He's giving me ugly looks.
We've been watching Charmed on Amazon Prime last week.
Charmed is amazing.
I'm trying to get my kids to watch it with me from the beginning. Can you guess which one of my 2 kids is the one that is sitting there all day watching it with me?
I would imagine it's the one that I least expect, so I'm going to say Jackson.
That is right.
Oh, cool. Yes.
Sitting out there. Like I paused it to like get up and get something to drink, and I sat back down. He goes, "Mom, are you gonna push play?" I'm like, "Oh, I didn't know you were paying attention. Oh, look, you put down your gaming system. I guess you are. Okay."
Okay, I do have a question though.
Now, what?
Are you watching the original Charmed or
Oh, yeah, I don't watch the reboot. I watched 3 episodes of reboot, and I was like, "Nope, I'm banishing that. I don't like it. It was horrible."
I have not watched any of the reboots, so I'm not going to judge it yet because I'm definitely hit that point in my life where I'm like, I don't want to judge any reboot until I actually watch it for myself. Because there's so many people out there that know absolutely nothing about reboots and they cancel them before even just giving them a chance, before even watching a trailer. And I'm like, I haven't seen anything about it. I just know it exists.
So it's in the same house. It's in the same town, I believe, and they're cousins and not sisters. And instead of all being white, they're more like Hispanic-y looking.
Okay.
And dark-skinned looking, I guess you can say. I don't know what race they were, but they tried to do the pilot the same way the original Charm did the pilot. It just didn't play off well. Like it didn't have, I don't know.
Okay.
Me and Jackson are partway through season 2 of the original Charm, and I gave him one spoiler. I said, one of the sisters dies. You know that, right? Like,
yes.
Oh, okay.
Gosh, why you got to spoil it for me, Stephanie? It's only been out for 20 years.
So every so often, there's one episode where one of them had to die to be a ghost, to vanquish a ghost. That was in the Alcatraz Island, whatever. And there's another one of them got sick and they died. I'm like, oh, look, Jackson, that's the sister that dies. Oh, look at that. They didn't die. Oh, look, that's one that dies. Oh, look, they didn't die. It's like, Mom. I'm like, either it's season 3 or 4, somewhere in there. It's coming up soon. Don't worry.
I love that you're just teasing.
I'm like,
guys,
I've watched them all like several times. Okay. It's great, like being able to watch it, and then I know it's coming up.
Yeah.
And then I was going to say it, and then I'd be like, Jackson, pay attention. Jackson, pay attention. This doctor that is working at Piper, she got this disease from the fruit. Pay attention. He's going to be hinky later on.
It's just some random stranger they never see again. Oh, that's great. Okay, I'm going to go back to comments. Renee says, for us with the Panini, we did virtual, and I quickly sent them back in person. I quickly knew I didn't have the patience to homeschool 2 kids with a toddler. Yep, okay, fair.
The toddler definitely changes things, for sure.
Yeah. Dark says, KDH is so worth it, has more emotional depth than you might be expecting. Ooh, nice. Renee says, that was my guess, too. Dark says, I was about to say, if you don't know after 20 years, whoops. And Renee says, this is just my opinion, but I cannot stand the remake of movies and shows. They try too hard, and I still just love the original. That is fair, and I understand that to an extent. And I want to come back to these 2 comments about the spoilers after 20 years, as well as the remake stuff. However, we are now 15 minutes into this, and we haven't done a sprint yet, so I feel like we need to do a sprint first.
Oh, here, I should probably open my thing, right?
Maybe, yeah. I think maybe now is the time to open up your Scrivener document. And we're gonna start this first sprint, 25 minutes. If you are new here, this is my usual streaming time, but this week I've actually streamed daily. But the way it works is we're gonna do 4 25-minute sprints with 5 minutes of chit chat. That'll probably overextend the 5 minutes in between, and we're going to stream until we at least hit those 4 sprints. And depending on how we're feeling tonight, because it is one of the last 2 nights of the challenge, we may do an extra 2 sprints. Oh my goodness, don't. We might. Okay, it's not a guarantee.
Let me tell you, it's easier to do more sprints. We are not the only one on the screen.
It is. Yes, it is. But depending on how the conversation is flowing, depending on how I'm feeling later, because my husband does have work tomorrow, but I'm in a different room, so it's not like he can't go to bed without me. Just saying. So depending on all that, we might do more than 4, but we're going to at least do 4. So, and then the other thing I do is during those sprints, I like to put writing prompts on the screen for those people who want to write but don't know what they want to write about, and maybe it'll inspire you. You do not have to work on it if you do not want to. So our first writing prompt for tonight says, it'll load, I feel like I know you. Why does it feel like I know you? I swear we've never met before. So that is our first writing prompt for anyone who wants to use it. Again, you do not have to, and we are going to do a 25-minute sprint starting in, let me find my cat. Where's my cat? We got our timer is Nixie, who is our Pomodoro kitty, and she is going to keep time for us. We are starting in 3, 2, 1. Let's go. All right, that is time. Let us know what you did, how you did in the comments.
Not well.
I did not write words. I might have written a sentence.
112.
That's not bad.
So, not well.
That's not bad. I don't know what your usual is, though. So, like,
That's not well.
okay.
If I focus in like 20 to 25 minutes, I've been known to get anywhere from 400 to 700 words, depending on where I'm at in the story.
Yeah.
First 3 chapters of the story do not count.
Okay.
Because the first 3 chapters of a new story, I'm always trying to get the feel and the flow of it.
That
I feel like.
Fair. I was uploading stuff to Google Drive because I told you I would, and I was a dumbass and didn't wait until after the stream. I was like, let me do it now before I forget, which was fine. And it did upload. But the girls were playing a game online. DeHubs is playing a game online. I'm live streaming and I'm uploading stuff at the same time. I'm like, let me not touch anything in case my computer decides, nope, we're fucking done.
Okay.
So I got that done, and that's pretty much all I did during that sprint because the files were huge, and a lot of them are zip files inside another folder.
I see. All right. That's fair.
So, but that's done, and I can actually write on the next sprint. So we're good. We're good. Lots.
I did write earlier today, so I did get more than 112 words written today. Before that sprint, it was only 112 words.
Okay. Fair. Your daily goal right now is 1,000 words, right?
Yes, it is. I have 363.
Is that including the 100 plus you just wrote?
Yes.
You got this. You got this.
It's fine.
It's fine.
It's fine.
It's fine. Let's see. I've got to scroll back up to where.
This is what I have a hard time getting used to is in Restream. The most current comment is on the top, and then on StreamYard is on the bottom. That's
yes.
All right.
Okay. And because me and Restream like to fight, I actually have to go to YouTube to see all the comments because Restream
it was
doesn't
doing
show
that to me earlier. Was it today today?
Yeah. It doesn't always show them all. And I don't know why. I thought it was just me, but now that you're having problems with it, it makes me feel I'm not gonna lie, I'm so sorry, but at the same time, I feel a little bit justified too. I'm just like, yes, she finally understands what I'm talking about. Because you always every time I mention that, you're like, I feel like you're lying, Skye. You're lying. It doesn't do that. What are you talking about, Skye? And now that it's done to you, I'm like, okay, she doesn't. She now realizes I'm not lying when I say that. Okay. All right. Going to look at the comments section. A bunch of people joined in during that sprint, which makes me super happy. We had Brett join in, the Foggy Author. Adrian, Books by Adrian. Let's see. I'm just going to go through to see who all jumped in. Christina jumped in. Hello. JC is popping in. She is on a stream with Laura over on Sam's channel for Storyteller's Hearth, which is also going on this weekend. Okay, popping up. Katie popped in. Paperbacks and Ponytails. Hello. I'm trying to see who else popped in, and then I'll actually go through the comments. Definitely gonna have to pause the timer today to get chat because there were some interesting conversations going on in the chat. Did I get everyone? I might have.
Okay.
Yeah, I got Christina. I think that's everyone. Yep, that was everyone that popped in that was new. Okay, cool. Now I get to scroll back up again so I can actually read through comments. Because I like reading everyone's comments. Everyone has some good things to say. Where is it? This is where we stopped. Get to words. Okay, cool. Yeah, I think Adrian popped in right as we were like hitting that timer to go. So that was fun. And Renee was happy to join us because she looks forward to these every Saturday evening. Right. Pause Nixie. Good to go there. Everyone's saying hi to each other. Brett was saying it's 4:48 a.m. You are up much earlier than I would be, sir. I'm just saying. But that's usually when I go to bed. So
I was still up at that time this morning, but I
Yay,
hadn't gone to
nice.
sleep yet, even though I was really tired. I got caught up in doing something and I didn't go to bed till it was morning time.
See, when I work nights, my usual bedtime is the time I've been going to sleep after my live streams in the morning this past week. The problem is that my job is physically demanding because I'm a housekeeper. It's not so much mentally taxing. But at the same time, by the time I get off work, I'm just done with my day and all I want to do is veg for those couple hours. So this past week has been a struggle.
When I worked overnights at the hotel, I thought it'd be fine, like, 'cause I'm always up all night anyway. But not only was I in charge of like getting all the bedding and the towels washed and dried and folded and put in the housekeeper carts because the housekeepers were not doing it themselves, I also had to like do the breakfast and deliver to the rooms and check people in and deal with people coming. So it was actually a pretty busy hotel overnight. So
I see that they do not have to do it. So Justin also works at the hotel and he's got one job: clean rooms. That's it. And I clean a clinic, so I clean medical bays. I don't know what else to describe it as. We call them pods, but each pod has like four rooms. The doctors, the providers. Sorry, we're not allowed to call them doctors because not all of them are doctors. The provider's office, and then 3 like exam rooms. Exam rooms is where I was before. So that's what I do every night. It's super boring. It's super fun. It's actually not a bad job and it pays well. Let me be real. But at the same time, I'm like, are there other things I'd rather be doing? Yes. And then I realized what else I could be doing because I could still be working in retail, and I'm like, nope, I'm
Less
good.
people.
I like my job.
Less people.
I don't have to deal with any people. I can go all week without ever saying a single word to anyone else in that hospital. I have done it multiple times.
Speaking of jobs, one time it was like a creative writing exercise. I had the kids like write down like what would be their best job, like their thing that they want to try. Where do you see yourself in 5 years, 10 years, that sort of thing. Jackson's like, I want to work at McDonald's.
Okay.
I'm like, why? Why McDonald's? Of all places, like if you want to do fast food, why all the places you could possibly work at McDonald's? Because it would be easy. Because all you do is stand there and punch buttons in. I mean, sure, if you want to give McDonald's a try, then you'll have a rude awakening, no problem. I'm like, you think when you start working there, you're going to be in the front where you take people's orders? Oh no, they'll make you go in the back and do other stuff. It's not easy. In fact, I'm going to require that each of my kids get a job in customer service, not in fast food, but in a customer service position, so they can see how not easy it is to work with the customers. I kind of want to work overnight at a hotel around here. You know why? Because they just sit there or stand there. They don't do breakfast. They don't do the laundry. They like. I said to the person I ran in the library, and they're like, "What do you do all day when you're there all night?" I read. There's like 5 of us. We all swap books and read overnight. I kind of hate you now.
Fair.
All right,
Fair.
continue with the comments.
All right. Everyone's telling Brett that it was super early in the morning, and Adrian says it's 10 till midnight here. I'm working till 7 a.m. Adrian's like me, works nights. I love this. I'm here for this. Let's see. Adrian says, but with little work to do before 3 a.m., I spend most of my shift writing. I'm about to dive into working on the novel for a couple sprints, then switching gears to query letters. How did that go the other day? Because I remember you mentioning, Adrian, that you were going to do query letters, and by the end of the day, your day, you were going to have at least one query letter sent out, ? So I'm curious how that went for you.
Oh, he just popped in a comment that said that he's diving back into writing because his timer is up. His break timer is up. So if he doesn't answer, that's why.
Okay. That's fine. I'm working through the comments. I'm skipping some because it was a lot of people saying hi to each other. You asking me if I'm going to risk it anyways, talking about the fact of uploading stuff. And since I finished, obviously, I did risk it. Katie was saying, I'm trying to stay up a little later so I can finish an intense scene. Don't want to lose the momentum by waiting until tomorrow. Adrian replied back to that saying, as long as it's still flowing, keep it going. But if you're finding it hard to write, then stopping and returning fresh tomorrow would do the scene good. Don't force it. I completely agree with that. Go with the flow. Yes. Adrian loves writing action scenes, but they can be challenging. Yes, yes. JC popping in, asking Adrian how he's been. You were saying your character is eating and have to keep remembering to have her actually eat. My characters just stop fork midway and just have conversations after a while, and I have to remember, oh yeah, they're actually doing something, finished what they're doing. You mentioned hating your keyboard, and Adrian was talking about, I bring my own keyboard to work. It's ergonomic, doesn't leave my wrists all cramped after hours of writing. I'm actually writing a spicy scene at the moment. La gasp. Katie said, I'm at a nice stopping point. My character just found out that they're writing on the back of an artifact they found, so the intense scene hasn't happened yet. I'll just jot down some ideas for tomorrow. Adrian said, smart, setting yourself up for success tomorrow. Very nice. I like that. Okay. And you mentioned you have an ergonomic keyboard. The only issue is that it's not a quiet one. Guess kids need to sleep. Do you have a second one that works okay? This is my keyboard.
So I have this one. It's...
Hold on. I can't see. There we go. Hold on. Let me fix this. Here we go.
This one. The buttons are pretty low to the really flush. So when I hit it, it's not very loud. I did, and the only reason I bought a new keyboard is because my mouse, the laser thing on the bottom of the mouse broke in my black one. So it was cheaper to buy a new mouse and keyboard combo than to buy a keyboard separately. Because my ergonomic one is like this, like a really big one. It takes up, it goes all the way to the edge of the desk. So that's, and it's, so I tend to pound the keys a little hard when I get into a flow, especially when I listen to music and type at the same time. But I think once I might switch out for this one, the black one, and chance it that they wake up they wake up at random hours anyway, whatever.
This time you'll be the one waking them up. All right, let's see. Dark noticed me making a sad face at my monster when it was empty, and I had to go get another drink. The sad face of, it's empty. Yeah, it's definitely the sad face of.
I thought they were talking about the fact that we both were on avatar mode, so there's nobody on screen.
No, probably. Well, maybe, but I'm assuming it was because of the fact I made a sad face. Adrian says, yeah, it does take up the entire desk. Katie has a cute pink collapsible keyboard. It's not comfy on its own, but it puts on a nice pillow. Nice. And Katie had written all of the notes for the next scene. Oops, forgot something. Have to go back. Been there, done that. Adrian says, there are support groups available if you have a problem, but admitting you have one is the first step. Good job. Congrats. Gotta love the craft. Keep that fire going. Writing is crazy. Yes. Katie said, I was going to say, I always have a problem, or I am the problem. Dark says, 100 words and finish dinner while brainstorming the choreography for this fight scene. Katie got 923 words for the day. I finally got to the numbers. I knew I was going to get there someday. Jenna got 370 words. And everything just jumped. Hold on. I have to scroll back up a little bit. There we go. Adrian said, I reread what I'd already written for the scene. On my next sprint, I'll actually write the scene. I'm trying something different with this particular spicy scene, but it has a long ways to go. But it has a long ways too. Katie says 1 to 2K is my daily goal, but it's okay to have an off day and let our brain rest. Yes. Christina got 100 words of rewrites done since joining. Congratulations. There's the break timer you were mentioning earlier. Adrian says, I've been sending out one per day every day, talking about query letters. I have a list of 50 agents I got my eye on, so I usually start early in the day researching the target. Hi, Heather. Welcome. And then Adrian sends out the letter by the end of the day. Okay, that's a good way to do it. I like that. Jester wants in here so bad. I've got the door to the main house portion closed because of the fact the kids are playing on Roblox and they're chatting with each other via phone since they're in 2 different rooms that are on opposite sides of the house. So
Okay.
they're loud. They're loud. Let's see. Okay. Christina said, my prototype just had her first vision. Awesome. What are you working on, Christina, by the way? Like, genre-wise, that's what I mean. What is everyone working on today? I don't even know if I asked that. I don't even know what anyone said. I know Adrian's working on a spicy scene.
I think
That's
I
the extent of
might
my
have
knowledge.
maybe possibly come up with a title for this book I'm working on.
Nice. Dark says, my low pro keyboard is super quiet, but I have to hit the space bar just right, or it doesn't take. Kappa is here. Hello. Good evening. Looks like you have the same keyboard as me. Who are you talking to, me or Stephanie? Stephanie has 2 keyboards. I have 1 in here. My gaming PC has a different keyboard completely. Katie's heading to bed. Have a good night. Thank you for joining us. I'm glad you got words in and you got pretty close to your target, even though you didn't hit it, and you set yourself up for success tomorrow. So you got this. I believe in you. You have a good night. Okay. Everyone's saying good night to Katie, and Kepler said trying to get some work done. I think I've caught up with the sprints.
Comments.
Not sprint. Comments. Kepler has the same black ergo keyboard that you do.
Got it.
And Adrian answered my question. They are working on a second novel, Mythic, The Face of Gaia, sci-fi fantasy. Sci-fi fantasy epic for adults. Obviously, if it has spice, it's going to be for adults, because I'm one of those people that firmly and utterly believes that spicy scenes, the more detailed versions of spicy scenes. I'm not saying that sex does not belong in YA. That's not what I'm saying. But what is the word I'm looking for? It keeps escaping me every time.
I just feel like if you are writing descriptive scenes of sex going on the page and the characters are under a certain age, then there's something wrong in your brain. So the next way of saying explicit. There you go. Explicit.
Explicit was the word I was looking for. If you are writing explicit sexy time scenes, you're not writing YA. I don't give a fuck who you are. And if you tell me that you're writing for a YA audience while writing that kind of content, congratulations, you're a pedophile. That is my opinion of you forevermore.
Adrian, I have a question for you. Is the book you're working on the one that I did a critique that you shared with me a while back? You had shared with me like a page or 2 or 3 that you typed up, and I hadn't read all of his first work yet, so he wanted me to like look through it and like beta read it and like pick it apart if I wanted to, because he showed it to other people and other people were like, oh, this is great. I really like this. That was it. I gave a little bit more feedback than that. And at first I was like, but he's like, nope, this is exactly what I want. Tell me what's great, but also tell me what is horrible and it needs to be fixed and how to fix it. So I'm just curious if that's the story he's talking about. He probably doesn't remember, it was a while ago. But I remember it because it was not like, I don't really read sci-fi, so.
Yeah, same. I do not read it. And I do not read any military sci-fi. It's not my thing, period. So the moment someone says they do military sci-fi, I'm like, yep, I'm not your audience, bye. Sorry.
I mean, this is sci-fi.
Cannot help
there's
you.
also like magic in it, and there's a lot of different bits and pieces together. It's not like Star Trek. That's definitely sci-fi, or like,
Yeah.
I know, Invaders of Mars.
Yeah. All right. Let's see. Renee says, I keep jumping projects. Christina is working on the dark gothic, dark academia romantasy. Nice. Cat Paw is working on part 1 of Time Shift. Heather is tidying desks and outlining my gargoyle book. I'm so excited about the gargoyle book. I love gargoyles, and there's not a lot of gargoyle books that I have found. I have found a small handful, but like in comparison to other supernatural creatures, there is not a lot of gargoyle books. So like I am super excited when Heather started talking about what her gargoyle book was about. I was like, tell me more and give it to me.
It's like that. It reminds me of that song from Greece. Sorry. Tell me more. Tell me more. Like, does he have a car?
Mm-hmm. Dark Project says any spicy scenes that are more than implied shouldn't be in YA, in my opinion. Agreed. Cat Paw says want to get draft 2 done so I can start looking for betas. And Heather says this is hardcore explicit. Yes, and that's okay. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with hardcore explicit. That is not what I'm saying at all. I'm saying it does not belong in YA. Adrian agrees. Explicit spicy equals adult, absolutely. Cat Paw is working on spec fic, no spice. The MC is ace. I'm here for that too. I want more books like that as well. Adrian says yes, it was the same novel. My first novel was a sci-fi fantasy that leaned more towards sci-fi, while this second one is sci-fi fantasy that leans more fantasy. The third novel will be more of an even split between the genres. That's interesting.
I really liked the part that he gave me to read, even though there's like some bits and pieces I suggested him to fix certain things and some word usage he used a lot of. I really liked it to the point I was like, oh man, that's it. I wanted to keep reading. So.
Did I miss a comment? I'm double checking, make sure I didn't miss a comment. So Christina Dark Gothic. Okay. I thought I missed a comment because I saw Heather saying something to Christina and then repeating Christina's comment that I thought I had read, which said Dark Gothic, Dark Academia Romantasy. So I thought that made me think I had missed a comment, but I didn't miss a comment. Okay, so we're good. Dark says, my first novel I finished in high school had a gargoyle hybrid FMC. Ooh. I'm telling you, I love gargoyles. There are not enough gargoyles in my own books. Don't worry. I am part of the problem. I realize this. I was watching a video where someone was talking about that they're a werewolf girly, but currently writing a vampire book. And I was like, that's me, 100% me. I am more werewolf girly. Like I love being a good werewolf, but I have lots more vampire main characters that I could deal with. Like even the story now, the series that I'm working on now of short stories, there is no werewolves, but there's a vampire. And I'm like, dang it, I've done it again. Oh, goodness. Adrian says they're not military genre, but by book 3, we are dealing with some war stuff. See, that's okay. There's a distinct difference in military sci-fi, but that's not what the whole series is about. Just book 3. Okay. If you want to beta read it, I would have a draft in September ready to go into the world. I might take you. Ask me again closer to September. I don't generally beta read because I am a terrible beta reader. I am an
excellent beta reader. Ask Adrian. So if you want me to beta read their stuff, I will gladly do it. Anything so I don't have to write my own stuff. It's totally fine.
She just wants to procrastinate. She'll read other stuff just to procrastinate. It's all good. That being said, if people reach out to me and be like, hey, I really need extra eyes on this, I do beta read and I do critique read. I do not feel like I am good at it, if that makes sense. I don't think I'm a good person to be doing that. But I will do it. If someone's like, hey, can I get your eyes on this? I just need another person's take. I'm all for it. So ask again at closer to September when you have a draft ready, and I might say yes. Brett says, I wrote an action car chase scene. I'm going to get through the rest of these comments. We're going to do another sprint. I wrote an action car chase scene where the guy in the car behind was shooting at the car in front. I used toy cars and a piece of paper with roads drawn on it so I could. I've done that. I have drawn out and acted out with like little figurines how things would work. Oh my goodness. And especially like with fight scenes, because I am a visual person, I have to see what is going on in order to be able to describe it. So you know those little models for like drawing people, the art models that you can put the posable ones? I have a couple of those that I specifically use for fight scenes so I could see how it works, so I can learn how to describe what the action is going on. And I love them. They're somewhere packed up right now, but like because I haven't written fight scenes like that in a while. But like when I was straight up writing nothing but fantasy and I was trying to write sword battles, I would pull out my little art figurines and pose them in the actions I was trying to describe on paper, because of the fact that I couldn't visually see it in my head. I had to visually see it in real life to figure out what the heck was going on. So, okay. Adrian says, that's it. I wanted to keep reading. Is high praise indeed. Thank you. I do actually have more for you to read if you'd like. Let me know. So looks like you've got some beta reading you're going to be doing soon, so procrastinate some more. Adrian says, I have my own take on gargoyles in the novel I'm currently writing. Awesome. Heather said, me, I said that the other day in a live. The gargoyle must be Margul. Did I pronounce that right? Margul? Margul? Margul?
We need a pronunciation guide, please.
Maybe. I'm just terrible with names, period. It doesn't matter what. It doesn't matter.
You should hear me when I'm reading out loud, like history books to Jackson. And I'm like, I pronounce one way and pronounce it the other way. He's like, what does it say? And he looks at how it's spelled. And like, he goes, I don't know. I'm like, I don't know either. We'll call it this way and call it good.
Yep. I wish if characters, especially like in fantasy books, I hate that I do this, but I do it all the time. Especially in fantasy books, if they have a super long name, I shorten it to like Bob. And they're Bob forevermore. And I don't know why I do that, but I do. Heather says, I have a plot bunny for a sapphic Red Riding Hood werewolf. Ooh. I love me a good retelling too. Heather's getting me with all these ideas. Stephanie is indeed a wonderful beta reader. Ooh, look at that. High praise. I love it. Cat Paw says, I am not a good beta reader, but I wish I was. Heather says, cool. Renee says, I'm not a good beta reader either. Wish I was better. I pronounced it correctly. Margul, pronounced Margul. Yes! Woo! I love it when I do that. I just go, oh, there's that spelling again. Fair. All right, I made it to the end of the comments. We're going to do a sprint. We've been chatting for a while. We've been chatting for a long while. But I've been loving these conversations to the point where, like, there was 2 comments I was going to come back to that I never even came back to. And we might still come back to them, or I'll just do, like, a separate video later time stuff. We'll see. Okay, let's do a sprint, though. Let me get us back in our normal view. All right, here we go. Here is our second prompt. Again, if you are just joining us, you do not have to write this prompt. It's just there if you want to write, but don't know what you want to write about, and maybe it'll inspire you. And it says, I hired you because you're a hitman, and I want you to kill me and make it look like an accident. So there's your prompt. If you want to use it, you don't have to. And we are going to start writing. 25 minutes on the clock, starting in 3, 2, 1. Let's go.
goodness me.
All right, that's time, everyone. Let us know what you did, how you did in the
All right,
comments.
so I did 426 words, and between yesterday and today, because it's past midnight, I just had it. I'll tell you in a minute. Get going. I'll let you know in a minute. Cool.
Okay. I got 754 words, and I'm almost finished with the chapter. And if I can finish this, I am actually really hoping to finish this story tonight because I've got the rest of this chapter, which is almost done, and then the next chapter, and that's it. So I'm really hoping I can finish
790
soon.
So
Nice.
It's close to 1,000. It's fine. I'm making progress. That's all that matters, really. I think it's insane for me to think, I'm not writing every day. To me, writing 1,000 words 5 days a week. I'm working my way up.
Are you Christian?
Yes.
Working my way up. That fair. Yeah, that's the way to do it.
Yes.
You got to build that muscle, especially since you've gone from basically like only writing here and there sparsely to now trying to write not necessarily daily, but pretty close
so I
to
went in
daily.
the scripter where I've been writing, right? And I wrote down my word count for different days. And in June, because that's the month we're in, I wrote on the 1st, the 7th, the 14th, the 15th, 16th, 17th, yesterday and today. So, and I think on the June 1st, which was a Sunday, I only wrote 166 words because it was after midnight when we streamed from Saturday night into Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
I consistently write on Saturdays.
There.
I'm going to try to keep doing the Saturday night, and then I want to try to do a live stream on Tuesdays as well. I think that'll be good. Probably.
Yeah. After this week, I am done doing daily streams until the next time we do a 7-day book challenge. And hopefully in September, nope, I'll still be working full time because I've got my sister's wedding in October. So I did not ask for days off in September. So I'll do this all over again in September, but hopefully next year for the 3 times we do the 7-day book challenge, I have the week off for the 7-day book challenge because this sucks.
I was about to get more writing done this month because the kids aren't really, I'm not doing any schoolwork at Jackson. My brain was like, well, then I'm just going to check out from everything.
I feel that because I feel like, so I have done the full-time author stint for a little while when my husband was working a job that required that I was home with the kids more and we couldn't afford a sitter. So and I feel like I got less done during that time than I do now with a full-time job and the kids' extracurriculars and everything else I'm doing because I'm doing school-related stuff too. I feel like I'm getting more done with less time than I did back then with more time and less to do outside of that.
It's oh, well, now I have all this time, right? But then, when the kids are back in the routine of schoolwork and then we have specific days that we do certain things at the house, then I know that I can't be spending those times writing because I don't do anything for myself when the kids are the hours that they're doing schoolwork, sit down schoolwork.
Yeah.
That doesn't work. I can't do that. I have a feeling Jackson will always be the read out loud to me type, and it's fine. I read more works. Then I'm able to read more books that way. Would you break?
I dropped the Post-it notes on the keyboard and it.
I did that earlier. I was pressing the tab button repeatedly all over the screen.
It was asking me to upgrade. I'm like, I don't want to upgrade. Stop it. They need me to press things. Stop. I don't even know what I pressed.
When I was working a graveyard shift at the hotel full time, I got more writing done then when I was doing that. I don't know how.
Yeah. It's weird how our brains work. And when we have more time to dedicate to writing, we do less writing than when we have less time to dedicate to writing. And we're more concentrated on the writing when we do that. It's weird. It's weird. I'm not mad about it. It's just weird. Dark says I scribbled down 5 plot bunnies. Oops. I wasn't paying attention to the timer. Hold on, let me pause it. Boop. I scribbled down like 5 plot bunnies from watching those movies earlier today. That's what I was going to do. I was going to look up freaks because I wanted to know what that was.
I did cross 5,000 words in my draft.
Woo! This draft is only supposed to be about 10,000, and I'm sitting at just under 9,000. So we're almost done.
I would like this draft to be 30,000, but I don't think it's going to be done. Lately, I've been more of an underwriter lately with my stories, so.
Yeah, there's definitely some things I'll have to expand upon when I go to edit this draft, but I'm just trying to get the draft done. Let's see. Adrian says, I try to make it easy for my readers. My MC in book 1 is Medalia. She very quickly becomes Migs to everyone who loves her. It helps to have short nicknames for long, weird names. I love nicknames for characters. I don't care if they have a short name, long name. I love nicknames, period. The weirder, the better, especially like if it's like one of those things where you have no idea where the nickname came from. And it's this very obscure inside joke from the friends that they've just been known as that name for so long that they introduce themselves that way and no one even realizes what their actual name is anymore. Those are my favorite things. Adrian says, so I'm trying to write my spice scenes more like action scenes. I'm really putting effort into making them thematically important to the plot or progression of a character. Oh, I like that. In this current one, the first of the novel, I'm establishing the MC's talents with chakra energy flow in order to explain their prowess with my chakra-based magic system later on in the story. Ooh, I love a good magic system. As someone who doesn't really develop magic systems and just like magic works and it based off people's energy, that's magic sparkles, tra-la-la. How does that work? I don't know, magic. That's my excuse for everything. And I'm sticking to it.
I think that's why I'm stuck writing my fantasy adventure novel, because now I'm to the point where like she has to be to the point where this princess who found out about magic just to learn her magic. But learning the magic means you have to learn about the rules of the magic. Like, why is this water dragon bonded to her? How did that happen? Why is this fish suddenly in her arms saying, you want to eat me? I am talking to you. Whatever. Like, this whole thing. Like, now I have to explain the why. Can it just be just because? There's no why. Learn it along the way.
Magic.
I'm kind of thinking that maybe the main character, who is yet to be named, is going to learn about the rules of the magic as she learns about the magic. Instead of it being info dumped at her, like, these are all the rules you should follow, blah, blah, blah. Like, she's just going to learn what she's capable of as she goes along. I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know. I haven't touched it in a while, so I have no idea.
We'll have to do a stream where we do nothing but like brainstorming fantasy related stuff. And I'll get to why in a minute, but I'm gonna get through these comments. Brett says, I use nicknames for my characters too, as well as making it easier to pronounce. Readers seem to be more comfortable with my characters. So my novel, Puck's Choice, Puck is not her real name. It was a nickname given to her by her nanny when she was a baby. And the older she gets, the more she hates her real name. And I can't even remember what her real name is. It's either Emily or Elizabeth. I can't remember which of those two I went with. At one point, I think it was both because I kept flip-flopping between them, and I don't remember which one was. But she's been Puck for so long that she introduces herself to new people as Puck. All of her paperwork for school, you know how you have to put your legal name? She doesn't put her actual name. She puts Puck as her name. So, like, she's gone by Puck for so long that very, very few people know what her actual name is, including the author herself. I don't know what her actual name is.
Got it.
Adrian says, I want people to dissect my spicy scenes because there's hidden truths in there. Yeah, I like when folks fall in love with my characters. My buddy Clark is legit in love with a fictional character I created and wrote into a story. And that, folks, is how you get fans for life. Yes, that is how you get. She's very cute. Brett says, so Adrian, why, when you fall on with your buddy, are you going to kill off your character? Oh, fall out with your buddy. Oh, that's me. I'm here for that, though. I'm here for you being spiteful and killing characters that your friends to enemies
like they are you. That's who you kill them.
Adrian says, no, I love her more than him. Why do we always like side characters more than our main characters? Even authors tend to fall in love with side characters more than they fall in love with the main characters of stories.
Makes sense.
I love it. She's super important to the plot. Connection will really show. Adrian says, oh, Faye lived rent-free in my brain for years before this. Brett says, her closet evil genius is showing. Quick, hide it before anyone knows this. I'm very proud of Christina. Christina's already left, and I hope she has a very good night, but she hit her 2,000 a day word count goal, and she went to bed afterwards. So congratulations, and YouTube decided to jump, so that's fun. Where was I at?
What?
There it is. Adrian says, there's no hiding all the crazy. It was funny. I tried writing stories before. It just never worked. It's never right. One day I'm writing a short story. MC opens the door, and there she was. The short story became the prologue to my first novel. She just works out. Nice. I agree with Brett. She was obviously waiting for the right moment to. She was waiting for her time to shine. Adrian says, some characters just show up fully formed like that. Not all. Many take real work to properly craft them. Yeah, it's crazy. I'm going to grab some lunch on this break. If I'm quiet, that's why. Okay, that's fine. Catpaw says, I went through 2 scenes and brushed my teeth ready for bed. I don't know if you're still here, but if you are, I hope you have a good night. I'm just saying that before you disappear if you are still here. Heather said, helping my dragon with reading and looking at plot structure of horror. Ooh. Dark got 692 words, having a sweet moment rather than the fight I was expecting. JC's back. Hello. Heather says, I have a Timothy who is referred to as Moth in the book. Yay. Nice. I love it. Everyone's saying hi to each other. And I've officially made it to the end of comments again. Look at me go. Woo. Yay. Because that's what I do, folks. I try to read all of the comments because I want to know all of the things, and then we can start our next sprint.
See, you're really good at it because you read what it says. I'll go through and we'll say,
yes.
Dark said, and I'll read it. Like, let's say Dark said, I wrote a really sad scene, and I wrote 300 words. I would say, and Dark said they wrote a really sad scene, and they wrote 300 words. I'd always change it to a third person. I don't know.
I flip back and forth. Sometimes I read it directly, and sometimes I say it as if I'm reading it like a story, like Dark says they did this kind of thing. So I do both, using your example. And JC's like, have you though? Because I think there are more. Don't you ignore me, Skye.
She's off her screen now.
I am here.
I think so.
I think she's back. And she's like, you will not ignore me. You will see me here. I do. I see you. All right. But that being said, let's go ahead. Dark says, I love
it was how the first name that I saw on the screen. Okay.
It's because we love you. It's all good.
And Dark was in my stream the other day, so their name was fresh in my brain.
Got it. Okay. All right. Let's do another sprint because Nixie is very mad that I did not pause her before she started counting again. She's so patient. Such a good kitty cat. Let's go. Let's write some words. Let's see. Let's go. Okay. Our next prompt for sprint number 3 says, I was looking for love until I realized I smile at strangers and wave to dogs, and then I realized that was just good enough. So again, you don't have to write these prompts if you don't want to. They're just here for inspiration. I'm going to shift our pictures a little bit and do this because I like this format. You figured out how to make them circles, and I'm kind of jealous because I have yet to figure out how you did that. And it's fine. It's fine.
Every time I do it, I have to do stuff. It's never in the same spot. Like,
That's too complicated.
like you know how you have your square with your picture in there, and then there's like 3 little icons on the top right. One of them,
Yeah.
you can hit it and it'll say customize. No, it's fine.
It's probably there.
I
just
don't
blind.
see what you see
That's
because
it's
I'm,
fine.
a guest. So
Yes,
I will
fine.
write down the steps.
It's fine.
When I do it tomorrow afternoon. So then I will maybe I'll just videotape my screen for you. Who knows?
It's fine. Dark says the cat's been blinking at us for like 20 minutes. She probably has, but she knows me well enough by now. She's like, I'll just sit here and blink and wait for you to start this sprint, which we're going to do right now because we're going to start writing 25 minutes on the clock in 3, 2, 1. Let's go. All right, there's time. Let us know what you did, how you did in the comments. That was our third sprint.
I wrote the opening sentence in the next chapter, and then I started extracting files from a nice big collection of files that you sent me. It's fine.
Yay! I just
So,
wish
yeah, it's fine.
I wrote 626 words and nearly. I have 2 sentences to finish this chapter, and then I can complete the then I can start on the final chapter.
Yay!
So I'm really happy. Okay. The next sprint we do will actually be across the midnight line, so I'll be able to put that towards tomorrow's word count.
Oh yeah, because
Yes.
you're an hour behind me.
What's up, kid? You're here to say goodnight? Okay, give me just a second so I can say goodnight to the one that doesn't want to be on camera. So I'll come back and read this chit chat in a minute.
Oh, making progress in my story, so I'm glad about that. I think I'm gonna probably switch like keyboards. I do like this one because it's cute and pink. It doesn't take up a lot of space on my desk. I think I'm going to be writing a bunch tonight, but be more tonight. I'm going to switch over from the monkey one that takes up all the space on my desk.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm back. The oldest doesn't mind being on camera, so when she pops up, I won't have to disappear. But the youngest doesn't really want to be on camera, so which is fair. Every once in a while, she's okay with it, but there are days where she's like, "No, thank you, no."
Like, yes, please. I want to be in camera all the time. But I decided to switch over to my ergonomic keyboard, and chance I'm waking up. My wrists are hurting because they are laying on the edge of the desk.
Okay.
I just wish my ergonomic keyboard was not so bulky and taking up all this space.
I have yet to see an ergonomic keyboard that doesn't take up a lot of space. Every single one I've ever seen is they don't make small, because this one's small. This one's I have a 10-inch computer, and this one's just a little bit bigger than the width of my computer, so it's probably about 11 inches. And this is not an ergonomic keyboard. I've never seen an ergonomic keyboard
I did
this
have
size.
this one that I really loved. It was
Okay.
It fits on top of my laptop keyboard, which is no longer working.
That's what this one does.
I
This
got
one
it in
fits
the
on top of the
Walmart
laptop.
section in the back to school section area. I don't know why I stopped using it. I don't know. Probably the same thing, like the whole wrist thing. Yeah.
The wrist thing.
But it's a cute one to take if I'm ever going to take my computer out of the house. But tell you what, if it comes down to me upgrading it with my phone or getting a new keyboard or a new laptop, I'm getting a new laptop. Because I really miss being able to cart my computer around wherever. Because not even my mouse pad works on my laptop anymore. The whole thing doesn't work.
I like having an external key mouse, except for I can't even show it because I have to unplug it. Hold on. There we go. I have to have this thing plugged into it, which is because this computer uses the C ports now. I have to plug up an external USB thingy to make my mouse work because I hate using the mouse on a laptop.
Oh.
Plug everything back in where it belongs. So yeah, that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. And then the keyboard works via Bluetooth. Every month, I have to replace batteries.
I mean, this does. If I was going to put the laptop on the desk on itself, because it's on a little shelf thing that has breathing holes underneath, so it doesn't get too hot. This does fit over the top of it with its little legs on the side. I could do that.
Okay. All right. Checking in with the chat. JC said, "You say it's fine." But is it? Oh my goodness, I wasn't paying attention to the kitty cat again. All right, let me pause that real quick. I was doing so good. I was paying attention to her. I was pausing it on time. And then these last 2 sprints, I'm not. Okay, sorry. I had to be a little dramatic there for a second. Cat Paw said good night. Happy riding or sleeping when you get there. I hope Cat Paw has good night. I did say that in the comments, but I wanted to say it out loud as well. Everyone's saying good night to her. Heather asked, what is a good name for a Gothic university / college? I do not know good names, but I did like kind of Google Gothic university names, and I pulled up a Reddit thread that I shared in the comment section because I thought that would be good to possibly give some inspiration for that. I really like the idea of like the first comment reply to that was a whole bunch of names that use different poisonous plants. Like there was one that mentioned foxglove, oleander, and I'm like, oh, that is brilliant. I love that. And I particularly like the name Hawthorne for some reason. I don't know what it is about the word Hawthorne, but I love it. I want a character to be named Hawthorne for some reason. And I think that would be cool as a school as well. Not in the same story, but like 2 different stories. Though maybe you could do it in the same story if maybe Hawthorne is the last name of the character and they are one of the founders of the school. Just saying. So it could work. And then Heather asked what I like about gargoyles, and I put a lot of comments in there talking about the things I like about gargoyles, and hinted at the fact that maybe my gargoyle obsession started with the 90s animated show called Gargoyles that I love and adore. So, meh. Heather said, me too. Dark said, wrapped up this chapter. Gonna do the fight scene in the next chapter from a different character's point of view. Ooh. Plotted 3 chapters with 3 scenes each outlined. Dark mentioned Hemlock Academy. I like that. I like Hemlock too. And Heather said, I thank you for it. Yeah, you're welcome. I hope it's helpful. MC is Sorsha Hawthorne. Ooh, nice. Like we're on the same wavelength. Let's see. I don't remember the ones that was mentioned. So it said Wildwood Hall, Hemlock Grange, Nightshade College, Foxglove Abbey, Oleander Seminary for Young Women. And then there was some other stuff that was mentioned on there. And then there's other like suggested topics, I think. I don't use Reddit enough to know what the heck I'm talking about. Like on the sidebar, there's other topics that are related to, I think that's what it is, that could possibly give some names too as well. So glad that was helpful. And we've made it to the end of the comments. Ooh, that one went fast. Probably because people are dipping out.
Lovely.
And that's okay. Nothing wrong.
Not me. Don't forget about me.
It is later too, because like it's almost midnight for me.
True.
So yeah, got like 5 minutes and it's midnight for me. My headache is starting to turn, which is great.
Or Pepsi.
So I remember mentioning earlier, like at the very beginning of the stream, I was like, we might do more than 4 sprints. And to be fair, that was a younger, more enthusiastic me than the me right now.
If you had been streaming every day,
Because I don't think
you would. But since you've been streaming every day this week, that's the difference.
Yeah, that is the difference. And I don't think, as much as I would love to do like 6 sprints, because I really feel like with 6 sprints I could actually finish this story. Part of me is like, no, I want to do 1 more sprint and go to bed, because I really just want to go to bed. JC heard you, Stephanie. She said, well, Stephanie, since you said something, I was going to be good.
I have 60.
You're going to wait till the last second and start typing stuff in. I know how you work.
I know it. Oh, man. All right. Let's do a 4th, and probably, I will not say it will be, because I could change my mind after the sprint is done, but probably the last sprint. So fourth, I keep trying to say fourth and final because that's usually what I say, but fourth and probably final sprint. And the prompt is: you can take your live, laugh, love and shove it where the sun don't shine because I don't
That's
want
a
it.
fun one.
And for anyone who's just joining us, you do not have to write the topic or the prompt. It's just there if you want to write but don't know what you want to write about. So as always, that's our usual thing. We're going to do 25 minutes. I'm going to put our pictures up like this so that you can see the timer and it's all full glory. And Nixie is blinking at us saying, why aren't you writing? So we're going to listen. We're going to write starting in 3, 2, 1. Let's go. All right, that is time. Let us know what you did, how you did in the comments.
I moved stuff around on my desk, like keyboards and computers and stands, and then I put it back. Right, here's why. So I have this purple like metal shelf thing, and on each side of the metal shelf thing, I have this that hooks on the edge.
Okay, yeah.
So if I moved the purple shelf away and put it like to the left of my computer, it's crammed against the wall.
Okay.
I thought about, I have this metal like stand that raises the computer up an angle, and I thought about putting on top. I don't know. I change it a lot. But look, it's all green and orange and yellow. All my black pens, all my blue pens and highlighters. And then I got all my red pens, all my red utensils, all my pink ones and purple.
I just have all mine together. And this is only like a fourth of what I've got. Not even a fourth. I've got so many pens and stuff in different places and locations. It's not funny.
That's not all of them. I have some other places.
At
But
least
I
you
mainly
look
use
organized.
red, pink, and I mainly use red, pink, and purple and blue when I choose to color code stuff. And like when I'm writing down the kids' stuff, they usually have different colors. So, anyways, yeah, I haven't decided if I want to put my laptop on top of this. Like it, like
I have
it sits
something
like that
similar.
facing you. So if I do that, it brings it up a little bit higher.
I
Which
had
is
to raise
great.
mine up higher. To the camera is now eye level with me when I'm actually sitting up straight. I'm starting to slouch. But the other thing is when this keyboard dies and I don't have batteries, it's at an angle that allows me to easily use the keyboard that's on the laptop itself, which is what I mainly needed. I needed that angle so I could work better.
Okay. And then, like right now, I have this fat ass keyboard, but it literally the front of it hangs off the edge of the desk just a tiny bit because of the purple thing takes up space.
Yeah.
But then if I use this only, then I can shove the ergonomic keyboard underneath of it a little bit.
Ah, okay. That's an idea.
That is an idea.
Oh goodness. Okay.
Lots of choices here.
You do have lots of choices. I actually have to clean my desk. My desk is a right mess. We're not going to look at it. We're going to pretend the mess doesn't exist.
I did see the picture you sent me, all those washi tape in your display case. That looked pretty.
Oh, the picture I sent you was organized. That's the small section that's organized. If we turn to the left and look at the rest of the desk, there's a lot of random crap on my desk, and it's not pretty. And I'm not sharing that yet. Yet. I don't want you to see my ugly desk right now.
So,
You can see it once it's pretty again. All right, checking out the comments. JC, I missed these couple of comments. These probably happened right as we were getting ready to start the sprint. She's like, I remember reading I was going to be good, and then she said, you rang? Dark said yes, and then I will crash because I work at 9 tomorrow, and it's 11 p.m. right now. So I know that Dark is probably getting ready to head to bed. If you have already, hopefully you haven't headed that direction yet, but I hope you have a good night, and you did lots of words. You got 330 words, I see, so that's awesome. And I hope you have a good night for the rest of the evening if you have already taken off, or if you have not, either way. Let's see. JC said, go. I see a pupper. Yeah, Jester jumped on my lap during that sprint because she was like, I want to go outside. And that was her way of telling me she wants to go outside. And I ignored her for as long as possible. And then I let her outside. So she is now currently outside. So if you hear barking, it's her. It's dark outside. She doesn't give a crap. It's been raining off and on all day. She still doesn't give a crap. So she's outside. Heather says, rang my mom to get family information as I want to infuse my grandmother into the gargoyle book. Ooh, I love that idea. Brett says, I have a monitorizer. They are so good for reducing neck ache. I I've been using it for so long, I can't tell the difference. So, and I already have like neck and back problems. So it probably does make a difference. It's just that I don't notice it.
I know that when my computer or my laptop is on the desk by itself with nothing under it, then I can tell I'm like looking down more often. See, like right now, this angle has that purple metal shelf thing, and then the riser on top of it.
Yeah, I have that. I have a little shelf, and then the riser, and then the laptop sits on the riser. That made absolutely no sense. It will be on the next vlog, just so that I can be like, this is what I talked about during my stream when I was talking about my computer setup. That way, you don't think I'm looking at me like I'm a crazy person when I'm trying to explain this, because I can't explain it correctly. So, if you're interested, I'll probably put it in there. Let's see. They said, so college might get called Yarmouth. I probably butchered that. I'm so sorry. Yarmouth. And Sorsha would live in Foxglove Hall. Ooh, I like that. Brett is gonna get off to go get some breakfast. Thank you for joining us today, Brett. If you are still here, I hope you have a great day, because it's really early in the morning for you. I think when you joined us, it was like 5 a.m., which means it's like 7 a.m. now, I think, roughly. So hopefully you have a good day. JC says, I played a game or two, did my Duolingo, and watched some YouTube videos. That's awesome. I had to actually read my original draft because my main character is a vampire who, when they were teenagers, he was part of a garage band. Sorry, that felt like there was something in my mouth. That was weird. He was part of a garage band, and I couldn't remember the other band member's name. I knew the one because that character had already been introduced at the very beginning of the story, but I could not remember the other two. So I was like, okay, what are their names? And I had to read through the story to find their names, because they were only mentioned once or twice. And in the rewrite, I wanted them to have a bigger role. Of course she's barking. I don't know what she's barking at. Oh, well. I apologize. JC says, I'm actually feeling a bit restless because I finished my video stuff up early because I had to do the stream, and now that's done earlier than usual. So I'm like, what do? Feel like I should be doing something that's actually productive. Brett says, it's 7:30 here. Catch you all later. Bye. Have a great day. So yeah, I was right about the time. I can do maths sometime. I can do maths.
I don't. I can't.
Oh, yeah.
It was easier when I was on the West Coast, because it was like I got used to counting backwards.
Yeah. Now I have to count everything forward. Like, you're Central Time, so you're 1 hour ahead of me. JC's Eastern Time, so she's 2 hours ahead of me. And I discovered the other day, Dark and Shannon, I don't know if Shannon's still in the comment section, but Dark and Shannon are Pacific Time, so they're an hour behind me.
Oh, I didn't know that. I didn't know that Shannon was at West Coast.
Mm-hmm. I only learned that because she commented on I think it was a live stream, or she commented on a post I made about live streams, and we were trying to convert times for her.
Oh, gotcha. So, for a while, I had my computer over here. Then I had it here for like 2 weeks before my husband noticed that right behind me is a bedroom, and sometimes he comes out in like boxer shorts. So all different places. I thought about moving my computer around so then the window was behind me, and then I'd be facing towards everybody. But then I wouldn't have the safety of the wall in case my computer falls off or whatever. Yeah. Not like anyone's over here, but
that's always my fear too. I'm always afraid that I'm going to knock my computer off onto the floor.
JC says that Shannon's not West Coast. Florida Panhandle, which operates on West Coast time.
You're thinking Shannon SD Houston. I'm thinking Shannon. I thought she lived in Colorado.
Colorado's not West Coast though.
No, I know. That's where I thought she lived for the longest time, until we were doing mountain Pacific time conversions, and now I can't remember where she told me she lives. But different Shannon, not Shannon SD Houston. In fact, I don't even remember Shannon's last name. Hold on, because now I want to know. Give me a second while I'm doing some quick cyber stalking. Shannon, where are you at? Where are you at? Where are you at? There you are. Shannon reads, writes, and journals. And watch me.
Oh, that one. Okay.
Yeah, she popped up in the comments section earlier tonight. Shannon Capper, Kaper.
Okay.
Caper Capper. Oh, Jester wants to come in now. So yeah, wrong Shannon. I've known Shannon for years. She's been more of a booktuber in a lot of ways. And I think she's actually got a healthy balance of booktube versus authortube. But I'm trying to think. She wasn't one of the first people I followed on YouTube. But I think like everything seems to happen in waves, and like the people who were on when I first joined YouTube are gone. And then there was another wave, and I think she was in that second wave. And I think she's one of the few people that are still here that I found in that second wave, if that makes sense.
No, I mean that makes sense. I feel like
So-
when I first started watching it, there's a chunk of people that were doing live streams and like doing lots of content, and then they just kind of fell off, and some more came.
Yeah. I'm not even subscribed to any of the people that I originally found when I first joined AuthorTube because they are all gone. I can't even remember names anymore. And a lot of them at that time period when they disappeared, they didn't leave their channels up. They deleted entire accounts. And that's why I can't remember names, is because their accounts are no longer existent. There's like 6 or 7 people I was following religiously that were posting like consistently not necessarily daily, but like every other day. It felt like might have been daily, and I just didn't discover it until every other day.
I mean, even if you're not going to post any more content, why delete your account? You know what I mean?
I couldn't tell you. Reasons were probably different for different people. And at one point, I think that was the mindset back then too, because this was like 10 years ago. And that I think that not to say that it is the mindset now, but I think it was the mindset then, is that if you weren't going to create any more content, why not just delete your channel, kind of thing.
I mean, I have my other YouTube channel that I haven't really posted anything on since Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
But it's still there. I don't know.
Yeah.
I keep on debating whether or not I'm going to like share YouTube or not YouTube, homeschooling stuff over there. But every time I've done the exact same video there and here, it's always performed better here, even if it's not book related.
Gotcha.
Like on my travel content, more views here. When I like did flip throughs of like planners, better here. Homeschooling stuff, better here. So,
yeah. JC says some people did it for safety reasons, which is also true. Like a couple of the people I followed back then had like they made like I'm leaving YouTube videos, and I remember a couple of them being like, I'm leaving because of mental health issues. And I'm like, okay, that's fair. And I think those were some of the first channels that disappeared off my feed completely too, as in they were deleted. And again, I don't remember, it's been so long and those people have been gone for so long that I do not remember names. So I couldn't even tell you who they were. Some of them are probably still publishing books. I couldn't tell you. I do not know. But yeah, I really want to say that the Shannon I was talking about is Shannon Caper was from that second wave, not the first wave of people that I knew on YouTube when I after I first joined, because she's been around for a while. Let me see. Can I sort this oldest?
did she come out? Oh, okay.
Who?
Oh, our cat. That's what she was doing.
Oh, okay. Got it.
Look at that. What's
She's
funny
smart.
is she started all the way over here on the edge, and then she went over here, and then she finally went back that way. Hi. Yes, I'm talking about you. How's it going? All right, here. I've made. Here's your room for you. Come on. Come on. She's gonna wait till I start typing.
Of course, because she wants to stop you from typing. I see a tail. Cats are amusing. Let's see. Okay, Dark popped in again. Rounded out at 1,020 words for the day. Woohoo. Nice, Dark. And I know you're getting ready to go to bed because you've got work tomorrow. So I hope you have a great night. And you did awesome. So let's see. JC said, I know Kim Chance kind of got bullied off of YouTube, but she's still publishing because I'm on her newsletter. She was also from that like second wave of people. She was not one of the people I followed when I originally started. And I did not realize why she got off YouTube. I knew she had gotten off YouTube, but I never knew why. And that makes me sad. And that just reminds me of a situation that I just heard about like 2 or 3 days ago, I think. Allie Hazelwood being bullied off of social media because of her opinion about PETA versus Gail.
Yeah,
Like,
I told
fucked up.
the kids about that. I'm like, what?
It's
It's just a-
2025, y'all. Can you guys stop getting so emotionally tied up about fictional characters, please?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh my goodness.
And she didn't. And someone else posted for her. It was like I think a PA or something. It was like she's fine. She's just not techie savvy, so she didn't know how to turn off comments. So she just deleted her. She just deleted her entire account.
I mean, that makes go her. Like I'm sorry. That was stupid.
She was like at a panel, and the moderator of the panel said something about she's team blah blah, and then Allie Hazelwood said that she thought that PETA was useless to the story, and she's team Gail, and so they argue about that for like a minute or two. I saw a clip of it somewhere, and then
Oh my goodness.
yeah. And you know what? I felt pretty proud of myself because anytime there's book news or book drama anywhere, I always find out about it like well after the fact. And the only reason I even knew about it because I went to like share, I was doing a live stream soon in my Instagram stories, and then like the very first post was about it. That's the only reason.
Yep. I don't remember. I don't remember if I saw that. I think actually my sister sent me about something about that. And she was like, "Is this true?" And I was like, "I don't know. I don't know what's going on in the book world. I don't follow all the drama. I just listen as people tell it to me most of the time."
So then I was like, so then I did searching, and I like it wasn't just on Instagram or TikTok. So I felt pretty proud of the fact that I found out about it within 24 hours after it happened. I was like,
Nice.
wow, I'm in the know. Or I know enough people that share about it online anyway.
Oh, let's see. JC says, I don't know the full story, but I got Cliff Notes version. I think she's talking about Kim Chance's jumping off bailing ship. And I don't blame her. If that's actually what happened, I don't blame her because that's a crock of shit. That's a crock of shit.
I mean, if people don't like what I have to say, then whatever. I don't really care. You know, don't watch my stuff.
Yep.
Let's delete your comments anyway.
Yep. JC says that what happened, that was stupid. And then same.
The most recent comment I got, have you gotten those comments on your videos that says, like, I have the code phrase and it's a bunch of words strung together. I'll give you Bitcoin or something. I'm like, oh my God.
Yep. I've gotten some of those. Not a lot, but I've gotten some. I'm going to go let you real quick.
Yeah.
You can keep talking. I can hear you.
Okay. I just think it's stupid. So now I have to sometimes I'll go through and do in the YouTube background, you can say if anyone leaves comments with these words or phrases, it'll automatically block. But I haven't done it with that one yet. But it's not very often. I also a couple months ago I went onto Goodreads, and I used to have my personal Goodreads. I had Goodreads for a while, and then I started publishing books. So then I decided to make an author page for it, and then I connected them. But then people kept on messaging me about, oh, hey, I came across your book. I'm really impressed with your book. I'm like, oh, what book? And it was just a freaking hey, we should chat on Snapchat, or
Or what's
like
happening?
hitting WhatsApp, like hitting on me type of thing. I'm in Africa and blah blah blah. I'm like, oh my god. And it happened like 3 or 4 times in a row. So I emailed Goodreads and said, separate me. I don't want to see it. So,
That is fine.
but yeah, like, are you kidding me? Of all places, Goodreads.
Goodreads. Goodreads. Freaking Goodreads. All right. Do we want to do another sprint?
Yeah, let's do
I'm
it.
easy either way. I could keep going. I'm good.
Yeah, I'm gonna get some water and then I'll type some more.
All right. So this will be. I'm going to go ahead and preemptively say this is going to be the last one because it's almost 1:00 my time. My husband does have work tomorrow, and I'm going in with him to town so I can wash some laundry. So, but I'm wide awake right now, so might as well write.
Yeah.
JC said, Stephanie, that commenter in your chat earlier was weird, or rather, what they were saying was weird.
Did you catch some of the comment when you were in the chat? At first, they were like, I like Anglo-Saxon literature. She come over to Spain, and then she's like, "Ha, joking." And then she was like, something about you should write literature where I'm going to have white Anglo-Saxon women being pulled and yelling. I'm like,
Because I'm a moderator on your thing, it was trying to give me the option to like hide comments, which I discovered how much more difficult that is to do from your phone than your
yes,
computer. And I was just like, I don't know if this is even working. Okay. So I tried getting rid of those comments. I have no idea if I was the one that did it or someone else did it, but
so I ended up opening up another tab and like just going into my back channel and like removing her from my channel.
that works too.
And then I made JC a moderator on my channel too. So if that happens again.
Nice. Okay, JC says yes for another sprint, and I look like I've gotten my second win. Yeah, probably I have. I am tired, but I took a nap this morning after I got home from work before we went out shopping. And then when we got back from shopping and after everything was put away, I took another nap. So I'm actually good to go. And of course, the oldest dog wants to go out. And since he's at the door, I definitely need to start the sprint so I can go let him out. So we're going to do the sprint. 25 minutes. I actually do have a writing prompt ready because I had a couple extras in case something like this happened.
Wow.
And this one said, short story long, here's what happened.
Wow, it goes like this, you see.
So you see, this is what happened. All right, that is going to be our writing prompt for anyone who wants to write it. You do not have to. And we're going to start sprinting in 3, 2, 1. Let's go. All right, that is time. How'd you do? Let us know how you did or what you did in the comments. Doo-doo-doo. That was our last sprint for tonight, too.
That's fair. He's sleeping. So
I went to let the dogs out and then I let them back in, of course. And I was like, I haven't heard my husband in a while. Let me go see if he's awake. I found him asleep in his chair again. I didn't even bother trying to wake him up. I'll wake him up as soon as I end this stream and be like, hey, time for bed. You need to go to bed, and poke him until he wakes up.
I leaving it off where I'm writing, so when I start writing again tomorrow, it's in the middle of a scene, so it's not like so I can leave it in a good spot. So my character, she went to the grocery store and she came back and she's like peopled out because she spent way too long at the grocery store because every time she was down the aisle, they're like, "Oh, I heard you're in the Pelican House." That's the name of her vacation house that she's renting. Hey, you should try this recipe, or have you been to here? Have you heard about this? You know, like small town people. Hey, there's a newcomer in the area. And so she's like, I'm not even going to go to the butcher shop because in this small town, the butcher shop is separate from the grocery store. You want to get meat, you have to go to the butcher across the street from the grocery store because that's what I decided in my brain. And so she's driving to her house and she's like, what now? There's someone here. I wasn't expecting company or anything. But it's the handyman that fixed her rail on her porch earlier that day.
Mhm.
And came back. He's like, oh, she goes, what are you doing here? What are you doing? He's like, well, the porch needed to be fixed and your steps were crooked and uneven, so I'm helping you out. She's like, I didn't ask you to do that. And how much does it get in my house? He's like, easy. He picks her up and brings her up the steps that he like tore off the top of the steps, and she's in the middle of screaming at him to like put her down. And after I'm leaving it so I can finish it when I get back to writing tomorrow.
Fair.
So, and I wrote 564 words since midnight in Scrivener.
Okay.
And then I wrote, I probably wrote close to 9. Well, I should probably just finish the scene to get my 1,000 words total. I guess. I don't know. I'm going to count it as midnight because that's too much work to try to remember where I left off. You know. So, So technically, yesterday I wrote 658 words, and today I wrote 564 so far.
Okay.
And then the day before that, I wrote 935. So it's, whatever. It's coming along.
Nice.
My characters are doing something, so other than boring stuff, so it's getting there, getting forward.
Okay. I wrote 266 words. I'm on the very last chapter trying to wrap everything up. I probably could finish it in another sprint, but not going to. I'll wait until tomorrow. Not doing another sprint. Are you going
to be available during the day, or are you going to stream tomorrow? Are you be around tomorrow for my 2 p.m. stream?
Both. I will be streaming tomorrow, and I'll be around for your stream. I will not be around probably for the end of your stream, depending on how long you stream, because Justin and I are going to go see the new How to Train Your Dragon, and this small town, the only showing is at 4 p.m., which is like right around the 2-hour mark of your stream. So I will probably hop out of your stream 30-ish minutes before then.
That's fine. It'll be nice to have someone else to talk to on screen during the day.
Yep, I'll be around.
Okay. Plus, I have no idea how busy or not busy it's going to be since it's a Sunday.
Yeah. And the Storyteller's Hearth is still going on tomorrow until roughly around that time, honestly. That's about when it's going to be wrapping up, I think. No, I'm thinking AWC. Wrong thing. AWC is next weekend, and it ends around 4 p.m., not 4 a.m., 4 p.m. Eastern time, which is about 2 o'clock your time.
And are you streaming that next weekend on Saturday or no?
Nope. I need to cancel that if I haven't already. I thought I did, but now I know. Now I'm questioning that. I will not be, because of AWC next weekend, I will not be streaming.
JC said that she doesn't like how I end my streams. She says, I cold ended. I'm like, all right, that's it. I'm going to go. Have a good day. Bye. And then hang up.
I've done that when I first started streaming. I did that, so I can't say anything. All right, looking at the comments. JC said, "I love that." Talking about the prompt and said, "What had happened was."
See,
that's how I start all my stories. See, so what had happened was.
You're not going to believe this.
Heather fell down a rabbit hole of Pinterest for campus mood board stuff. Got a total of 6 chapters, 18 scenes outlined. Awesome. Going to go have a nap to see if I can get my brain to focus on outline getting finished and the world and character can be fleshed out during the week. Nice. Well, thank you for joining us, Heather. I know you're getting ready to go if you haven't left already, and I'm very happy that you were able to join us this evening. I think it's like the middle of the day for you, though, because you're in Australia, and I don't know what time zones are. So I know it is not evening for you. That's all I know. But yeah, thank you for joining us. And JC is saying good night. And she said, that's not exactly what I said.
She said, you and those cold endings. LOL. I barely had time to type in my thank you.
She's paraphrasing by adding on more words.
Whatever. I remember it accurately. She still called it a cold ending.
I have the memory of a goldfish. I can't remember shit. All right, let's go ahead and wrap this up. If you want to go ahead and do your outro, we're going to get ahead and get out of here.
Great. If you're still here or you're watching the replay, thanks for watching us all the way in. My name is Stephanie. I currently only stream with Skye for the 7-day book challenges, but I'm going to be streaming again on Tuesday evening. Hopefully, I'm working through my small town romance era of stories. I think that's it. I was going to vlog this week. I did not. But I might do like a desk setup video to like how my desk is set up. Just to put a video out there. I don't know. We'll see.
Isn't the vlogging part of your like 75 challenge, your 75-day challenge? I feel like it is.
Yes. I think what I said in that post, I was going to do 2 videos a week. So
live streaming counts, I think. In my opinion, live streaming counts.
Live stream counts as a vlog.
It counts as a video.
Yeah, that's true.
Because it's technically a video. And I know that when I go to YouTube on my phone and I click videos on the tab, it shows all the freaking live streams. So even though live streams has their own tab.
Right. So technically, I have done 502 videos on my channel because of all the live streams.
All right.
You're up.
Okay. And so for those who are still here and who don't know, my name is Skye. I'm a fantasy author who typically writes paranormal romance under the name SD Hegyes. Today was day 6 of the 7-day book challenge, so we got 1 more day left. I will be finishing this short story tomorrow, probably during Stephanie's stream, because I know exactly where I want this final chapter to go. I literally probably could get away with writing 600 more words and be done with it done. But I'm not doing that tonight. I'm going to leave it for tomorrow and be able to show all the excitement when I finish it.
It is tomorrow.
Shh. It's not tomorrow until after I sleep.
But what if you don't sleep?
Which we'll be doing soon. So I'm going to go to bed.
What if you don't sleep? What if you lay there and you're like, oh, I can really finish it. I need to get up and finish it.
Well, then I will get up and finish it if that's the case. I am the kind of person that if I lay down and I can't sleep, I get up and do work. So if that happens, which I doubt it will, I will finish it tonight, I guess. I don't know. We'll see. But anyways, so yeah, 1 more day of streaming left. Next weekend, I will not be streaming because of the AWC, because I want to enjoy that, and I know I'm going to miss some, so I'm going to have to play catch up later. And then what else is going on next weekend? I feel like there was something else going on next weekend. I don't remember what it was. I'll think of it and be able to add it tomorrow.
Was it like a 24-hour novel challenge, or is that already passed?
That's the weekend. Oh, that's this weekend. That started yesterday.
Yeah, I'm not.
No.
Obviously.
I couldn't do that this weekend, so nope. But yeah, the 24-hour novel challenge was this weekend. It started yesterday afternoon, I think. And then we're doing a 12-hour marathon, but that's in July, so we're going to talk about that after we finish up this challenge.
And I think you and I said that we were going to stream on Sunday evening instead of Saturday night because of the AWC, or was that not what we talked about? Can't remember.
We were talking about doing a planning stream, not a
That's
sprinting
right.
stream.
Yes.
So more info to come. We'll hash that out and we'll be able to talk about that tomorrow. Maybe. So yeah. But I'm not streaming as far as like writing sprints go next weekend. All right. I need to get out of here because I'm mixing up words and thoughts now. So thank you all for joining us. Let me make sure I haven't missed any quick comments. Thanks for the sprints. Okay, cool. All right. So let's go ahead and end the stream now.